guys, Chrisspy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a DIY of the paintings that I did in my living room. To begin, you'll need a notebook, some paintbrushes, black acrylic paint, both of these worked for me by the way, some water to mix the paint with, and a palette, which I just used a little paper plate for that. I got all these supplies here from Michael's Arts and Crafts. Also, I like to lay down just an old tablecloth underneath where I'm gonna paint so that everything stays clean. So as you guys will see, these paintings are really easy. Anyone can do them, no matter if you consider yourself artistic or not. This first painting right here is actually just going to be a rough draft, which I recommend doing because then you kind of get familiar with the paint and the paper, and you don't have to worry about nailing this one on the first try. So I'm not really following any specific design. I'm kind of just doodling on the paper and painting as I go. Although I will say that kind of where I've landed with these paintings is that I like to do swoopy, flowy lines and then kind of contrast that with straight lines, as you guys will see. So you can totally do whatever design you want, just kind of doodle on the paper and see where it takes you. Or if you're stuck, you don't know what to do, you can also use these designs kind of as an outline for yourself. A technique that I like to use is using different size brushes and using different amounts of paint and water because you get a different effect with each one. So here I'm going in with a thinner paintbrush and I like to get it wet and really load it up with paint because then I have these nicely defined lines and they really contrast with the drier and more sparse brush strokes, and it just looks cool and different. So I'm going to set that one aside to dry and get started on the next painting, and actually really like how this one came out. I like it better than the first one. One thing to be mindful of is your frame size and how the sheet is going to fit inside the frame. With this painting, for instance, I took it really wide and you don't see some of the stuff at the top and the sides, and I probably should have drawn on the borders on there so I knew exactly where it ended. But like I said, these paintings are very carefree. Another technique I like to do is just rotating the brush by turning my wrist, kind of squish the brush here, but you get a perfect circle that way. So first I used the bigger brushes similar to how we did last time, and they kind of have like a scratchy, sparse look with the paint. Like they're kind of crappy actually, but it works for this style. And then I go in with these more defined brushes and I'm kind of layering and just adding texture, and it ends up looking really cool. Although this is a free design, you can do anything you want. With these, I kind of like to make sure that they have balance. So that's why I was going and adding some weight to the upper corners. And then you'll see that we have the kind of center cinnamon roll in the middle. And then, I don't know, just something in each corner so that it looks balanced. So I'm doing things in stages, and again I'm going back in with that smaller brush that I really like, and I'm creating these smooth lines, which is actually very like soothing. Like it like feels good doing these swoopy lines. So that's another tip I'd say, is you gotta vibe with it, you know? Okay, so now that this one is all done, I'm gonna set it aside to dry with the other painting. And if you're gonna do this in a sequence 2 or 3, which look really cool by the way, this is a time when you can kind of flip things around and see how it works out when they're together. So these are the same frames that I have in my living room from Michael's Arts and Crafts, and you want to make sure that it has a matting, a white matting, and actually I think it looks cooler the bigger the matting is. Also, a tip, when you're shopping at Michael's, make sure that you go on their website because they always have coupons on there. When I bought this one, there was a 40% coupon, so it was like $36. I'm also just wiping off any little dust or pieces that are on the inside, and there's really nothing special about putting it in the frame since the paper is really thin. I just put that little piece of styrofoam paper in there and then we're all done. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this painting yet, so I just leaned it against the wall on an end table, and I wanted to look fancy for you guys, so I put some accents and kind of styled it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please tag me if you do any of your own DIY paintings because I'm going to be so proud and I can't wait to see. Thank you guys again for watching. Leave me comments, questions down below. Make sure that you thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you in my next video.